I've definitely seen people who have gotten fired before, for sure, for doing this.
Hey, what's up?
My name is Travis Dykes, and I've been a professional musician for over 13 years here in Nashville, Tennessee, touring with many different music artists in many different genres. And today, I'm going to be rating how realistic the music scenes are in the film School of Rock. Now, I know this is the opening scene of this movie, but oh my gosh, Jack Black is just literally killing this role. You can obviously see when you look at their hands, he is not playing any of those guitar parts. Honestly, when it comes to looking at this as a musician, I actually used to be in a rock band when I was back in college. There is something about stage presence and something about, getting on stage and you're just like, you're making like you're having a great time, and you're just like being a rock star. Years ago, when I got my first label gig, I had a show producer tell us in the band, he said, most of the time people overdo it when they're on stage, but it's finding the balance between like not sitting like a statue, but not like losing your mind like Jack Black is here. Because to be honest, you'd be fired if you were stealing the show away from the main lead singer or the artist or whoever it is you're playing for. So you have to be very, very careful. I've definitely seen people who've overdone it and have gotten fired before, for sure, for doing this.
Dewey, I mean, you owe me a lot of money as it is.
Yeah, try $2,200.
Okay, you guys, the band is about to hit it big time. We're gonna win Battle of the Bands, and when I'm rolling in the Benjamins, I will throw you and your dog a bone. Good night.
The whole stereotype of musicians not having money, that's a real thing. That is definitely a real thing. But I will say, if you are wise and smart, there's actually a lot of different ways you can make money as a musician nowadays. Back in the day, you could just like play guitar and just tour on the road. And there's some gigs like that you can do now. The reality is today as a musician, there are so many different avenues you can do. You could record music for sync and film. You can make tracks. You can produce. You can work on Fiverr.com. You can work on a bunch of different websites and just record songs for people online, which is like a whole new revenue source that's been awesome for musicians. The reality is that if you're not wise and diversify your income, this is exactly how you can end up not being able to pay rent, sleeping on somebody's couch, which honestly is a bit of a part of the struggle. And I'm not trying to say I want anybody out there to go out there and go sleep on somebody's couch to just, make a dream happen. But I will say it does take a lot of hard work to get there and get from under the slums of, getting really small amounts for playing.
We're taking the Battle of the Bands seriously this year.
Good, because I need the money. Now listen, my feeling is if we're gonna win this thing, we gotta actually start playing some music.
I agree. You're fired.
And your lyrics, now don't take this the wrong way, Theo, are lame. But I've been sitting on some awesome material, so.
Dewey, we voted. You're out. This is Spider. He's replacing you.
What's up, dog?
I've been a part of groups and things like that where somebody's gotten fired and they were part of the band, and it's never as easy as this. If you're in a professional group, it's a big deal. There's legal things that have to go with it. Are we taking you off songs? Like there's so many different creative and legal things that have to go through. You have to go through before actually firing a member of the band, like if you have like a group, to the fact of this being like a garage band. Yeah, you could probably do that. It's a little shady, but I've seen people do that before, so. Oh, wow. This van. I feel like musicians are some of the best packers when it comes to putting instruments in a vehicle and all this kind of stuff. Now, his van looked like it was a little custom fit for these guitars. I would never have my guitars out in the open like that, no matter if it's in a car or not. It's the worst idea to keep your guitars in the car overnight. The more you leave it in the car, the more the wood changes, it like tightens and contracts and all this kind of stuff. And if you continue to do that for a long period of time, you can actually warp your instrument or hurt your instrument for a long period of time. So even my friends that, have lived out of vans or toured out of vans, they don't even, have them open. They're always in a case, some kind of humidifiers in it. They're protected and not just like out on a stand hanging on the side of the van. That's definitely not realistic.
You ever played electric guitar?
My dad won't let me. He thinks it's a waste of time.
A waste of... Try this one. Okay. There's a guitar pick, and you pluck along with me, okay? If you can.
The guitar tones that they're actually playing through and what they're playing on their hand is actually correct. They're playing with no pedals and it sounds like they're playing completely dry with no pedals. Accuracy-wise, as far as like what they're playing and what their hands are playing, is exactly what is coming out of there. So it's good job on the accuracy.
Piano man, front and center. What's your name?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, you ever played keyboards? Any techno?
No, I only play piano.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Try this out for me, okay? Just give this a try on my count, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yes. Come on, now touch me, babe. Ba-da-ba-da, can't you see that I am not afraid? Shaka-ga-ga.
If I had this guy as my music teacher, if I had Jack Black as my music teacher like this, I probably would have fell in love with music way fast because he's just so much fun and it's just like so much fun just getting instructed by him.
Katie, what was that thing you were playing today, the big thing?
Cello.
Okay, this is a bass guitar, and it's the exact same thing, but instead of playing like this, you tip it on the side, cello, you've got a bass. Try it on. Okay, now play this note right here, that's a G. Okay, but let your fingers do the rock and keep that G coming all day long. G, 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 good, stop.
Jack Black must play a little bit of guitar or bass or something because that's actually right. When he says that's a G, that really is a G. It's the third fret of the E string. He pretty much nailed it right on the head. Just play a note and that's gonna, fill up a lot of space. I hate to say it, it's really easy for you to just pick up a bass and start learning it pretty easily. But they always say this with bass though, it's the easiest instrument to pick up and play, but the hardest to progress in. And that is very, very true. Now, her coming from cello, going to bass, there will be some differences because, a cello a lot of times is bowed. Also, when you pluck, it's a very different experience. You're using, 2 fingers when you're plucking on a cello. But on a bass, you're doing alternate with your index and middle finger. So it is a very different experience. And also the tuning on a cello is different than a bass. And so your notes are not in the same place. So a G on the bass guitar is not going to be a G on a cello. So it definitely is a learning curve. It's not as easy as just being like, oh, it's kind of like a bass. Get on here and just play it. Use all your knowledge from the cello to play it. It probably helped a little bit, but you still have, it's still a pretty strong learning curve there. Now, real quick before we get back into the video, I just want to say, if you guys are liking this video, feel free, go ahead and hit that like button and the subscribe button. Over 73% of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribed, and I'm trying to get to 50% of you guys being subscribed. And so if you like my videos, you like my channel, please consider subscribing below. Thank you guys, and let's get back into the video.
Good, okay, no, that's bad. That's like George of the Jungle. Play it up here on the cymbal, but really light. Oh, that's it. Okay, keep going with that, Zach. Do you remember this thing I taught you a minute ago? It goes like... Yes! Yes! Oh! All right, let's go!
If you look at the room, there's hardwood floors, there's like cinder block walls. As soon as they started playing any of these instruments in this room, somebody would have came in here because it's reflecting off like every surface. Usually if you're gonna be able to play something like this and people not here, you gotta have some absorption in the room, like absorbing the sound, like carpet on the floors or some sound panels on the walls or curtains. Anything that would be a fabric or something that's got some density to it would help absorb some of the sound, but all the surfaces in this room would be reflecting the sound and projecting it out even louder. From the first note of them playing the guitar, you would have heard something.
Hey, what's up?
I don't think I should be in the band.
Why not?
I'm not cool enough. People in bands are cool. I'm not cool.
Dude, you are cool. The way you play. Why you say you're not cool?
Nobody ever talks to me.
Feel that?
Well, those days are over, buddy. Because you could be the ugliest sad sack on the planet, but if you're in a rockin' band, you're the cat's pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
Bee's knees?
Yeah, the bee's knees. You're gonna be the most popular guy in school, trust me.
I was actually homeschooled, so I don't really have the application of having, being in public school or anything like that. When I was in college, I went off to, a public college or whatever, and being a part of a band was not necessarily the cool thing. Even if you're like a part of like a garage band was just not as cool as he's making it seem like. Doesn't mean you can't be. You should definitely, if you want to start a band, do it. It's a lot of fun. It's going to help you go really far, but not everybody connects to it, and not everybody thinks like, oh yeah, that's the coolest thing ever.
Blondie, brace face, you're singing back. All right. Tough guy, shortstop, fancy pants, get over here. You guys are on security detail. Your job is to make sure no one outside this room knows what we're doing in here. The future of the band depends on you. Okay, your first mission? Soundproofing this room.
There we go. It's a while before, if you're in a band or anything, you have security. I know he's trying to include everybody to have a job. In the professional world, when you have security, you probably have some chart-topping number ones, radio hits, where people are bogging you down to get from point A to point B anywhere. And so you have to have security to kind of help you move through the crowd and different things like that. It takes you a second before you get there. And honestly, I know some people who have number ones still don't travel with security.
Can I be the band stylist instead?
Of course you can, fancy pants.
There are stylists that go on the road with artists and things like that. But I will say it is on that top 5, top 2%. I've had artists that had a wardrobe person or have wardrobe people. Most of the times they just give you an outfit and you just wear it every night. And then the other side of it is like they're mostly focused on the artist's look versus your look. So as a band member, as a sideman, they're not really, they care about the artist a lot more than they're looking at you as a band member.
Okay. Carrot Top, Roadrunner, Turkey Sub. We are gonna have a lot of equipment. We're talking amps, electric guitars, maybe even lasers, and smoke machines. Now your job is to master the transportation and operation of this technology.
So when he was talking about, getting the electric guitars, the amps, and all this kind of stuff, that is actually a job on the road, which is, they call them techs. For me, I've had bass techs before. You can have a guitar tech, a keys tech, playback tech. There's so many different types of tech positions, and that's pretty much what he's talking about. Now, you don't see these unless you're playing on a pretty good sized tour where they have enough budget for you to hire an extra person. Most of my years, I haven't had one. And even with a lot of touring artists that are big artists, they don't have techs. It's really like the ones that are like, multiple bus tours that are playing arenas, things like that. Those are usually the ones that have a lot of techs and things with them, or it's an artist that already has a lot of success and money to be able to pay for it. It's definitely a luxury and not a necessity when it comes to playing in the professional industry.
Okay, listen, I didn't want to say this in front of the other kids because I didn't want to make them jealous, but I made a special position just for you. And it's the most important job of all. Band manager.
Band manager?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Well, I'm going to be busy rocking out, so it's up to you to make sure everyone is doing their job. Summer, you're in charge of everything.
Okay.
Okay.
That is actually really dope that he did that. Usually whoever the manager is a pretty organized person. Now, what he's actually getting her to do is what we call tour managing. There's different managers, especially in the professional world, where you have label artists and things like that. You have a business manager that handles all the business. You don't ever see them on the road, really. You have the general manager, which is like the person who's like the artist's manager, looking at their career, looking at, okay, what are we trying to do in the future, setting all those goals. And then you also have the tour manager, like I said. Tour manager is the one that pretty much the role is what she is about to play, is where you're making sure you know when sound check is, you're making sure merch is taken care of, you're making sure everybody has their hotels, we're going to the right place. It is a behemoth of a job, especially when you have a big tour.
Okay, I will sing it for you, but let me just get in the zone. I was not planning on unveiling it, but I will sing it. Tip of the tongue, teeth in the lips.
That tuner he just used, literally, I have that tuner right here. Literally, I've had this from the very beginning. I've had this tuner, and that's the same one he uses. I think you could actually play the sound.
And the writing was written on the stone. And then a thin layer of fog comes in around my ankles. Roadies, that means dry ice. We're going to talk about this later.
Many, many times playing with artists and different things like that, when they have a new song, they never explain it like this. If an artist is trying to, it's a song they already know they want to do, and they want to add production, they want us to visualize what the show is going to look like. Yes, you can get some explanation like this, but most times with professional artists and songwriters, the song is supposed to speak to you without having an explanation. If a song can't speak on its own, then it's probably not that great of a song.
Unless you live hardcore. But the rent was way hardcore.
All right, good. Stop.
There's no way that nobody, even if I don't even see any additional sound paneling put up in there. There's no way other people are not hearing them practicing any of this music. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's grease up the hinges and listen. Loosey-goosey, baby. Loosey-goosey.
I'm just playing it the way you told me.
I know, and you know what? It's perfect. But the thing is, rock is about the passion, man. Where's the joy? You're the lead guitarist, and we are counting on you for some style, brother. So try this out. This is an ancient technique. It's called power stance. That's it, power stance. You own the universe. Now give me an E chord. Just go. But let me hear. Yeah, now raise your goblet of rock. It's a toast to those who rock. Now smile and nod your head and let me see your eyeballs wide like there's something wrong. Yeah! Yeah! Do it again. Give me that. That's what I'm talking about.
People judge and they listen with their eyes just as much as they listen what you're actually playing. Yes, you want to play your lines right. You want to kill. You want to, do all those. Great. But if you're not visually playing something that seems interesting, it can actually go against what you're playing. I will say it kind of depends on your genre as well. Like, okay, if you're playing jazz, it's all about the music. Literally, jazz is like, jazz players are not really moving that much. They're sitting in place or whatever, and they're just playing whatever. But jazz listeners, they're not really looking at somebody doing like dance moves and doing a show. They're just listening for the music and just like hearing like, oh my gosh, that note. Oh my gosh, that chord. And that's kind of the show for them. But when it comes to playing like rock or pop or any like more popular genres of music and things like that, people listen with their eyes. And so if you're not into it, if you're not like, looking like you're feeling it, or even if you're just like moving around the stage a little bit, people could get bored, or they could think, oh, they're like, something's wrong. They're stiff. Why they're so stiff? You know what I'm saying? They're looking at you to hear what's happening. They have to see what's happening through you. So if you're really feeling it, you have to actually overdo it just a little bit. But the thing is, you don't want to overdo it, because then you could be like Jack Black in the first scene and get yourself in a really bad position.
You're fired. Hey, Tamika, what's up?
I don't want to be a roadie.
What? Why not? It's an important job. All right, well, you want to be security?
I want to be a singer.
A singer? Okay, sing me something. Tamika, I can't let you be a singer if you can't sing.
You told me to leave you alone. My papa said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. But your loving is much too strong. I'm welding to you. Chain, chain, chain.
Oh, my goodness. Nice pipes, Tamika. Why didn't you raise your hand when I was looking for singers? You're in.
So what's actually hilarious about this is that there's a lot of people who get started who want to be a guitar player, who want to be a singer, but they get a job as a tech or a roadie, and they get stuck in that role. That's a big thing that happens in the professional world. That like they start and think, oh, this is gonna lead me to being a guitar player. This is gonna lead me to being a bass player or drummer or whatever. Once you get popular and get really good in that role, people only look at you as a tech. People only look at you as, you know, a roadie, but they can't look at you as like an actual musician. So don't start going down this road where that's where everybody just knows you by just being a roadie. You want people to know you from being a musician instead of that.
The school of rock.
Stop! We have a red alert. It's Mullins. Let's go.
To your positions. To your positions!
And you're telling me this is the first time the principals come down the hall and heard music? Oh my gosh, that's so unbelievable.
Look, I'm sorry, dude. I was desperate. You can't understand. It was easy for you to give up music. It ain't easy for me.
It wasn't easy for me. I miss it.
Well, then why'd you give it up?
Because I couldn't keep kidding myself anymore. You can blame it all on bad luck, but in the end, maybe we just weren't that good. Sometimes you gotta know when to quit.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I suck.
It's not what I said.
Well, music is my life, man. What do you want me to do?
Now, being a part of the industry and just trying to do this music thing, it is a really tough dream. And there's been a lot of moments where I've actually kind of had a moment like that where I was like, am I really cut out to do this? Am I really gonna make it? Because of how much you can do with music nowadays, even if you don't do it full time, there's so many different jobs in music now, is that even if you don't want to pursue a full-time career, you don't have to. Now, pursuing a full-time career in music is very, very, very possible, but it just takes a lot of hard work. It's a lot of, you know, not knowing where the next paycheck's gonna come from, things like that, and being able to create something to where it is sustainable over a long period of time, especially if you're trying to start a family, things like that. If you are someone who is trying to pursue a dream in music, really put all you can into it, but be smart. Because the thing is that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to put it, like if you get on with an artist that's just like a dream artist, don't put all your eggs in that basket. Be creating something on the back burner that's going to be helpful to you when that gig fades away. Because I will say this, every gig has a limit. Every gig has an end. And so just know you have to always be preparing for that gig to end so you can always be okay.
I told you. As soon as I talk to the band, I'll get back to you. If you're so desperate, then quit lowballing us.
That is so real. That is a real life manager. A real life manager is like that. I've been there with tour managers. I've been there with business managers. I've been there with general managers. Those kind of phone calls do happen, and that's not fake. Like, I've heard people just getting yelling matches on the phone. It's just like, why are you doing this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that is not something that is fake or just, you know, Hollywood putting their spin on it. That's a real thing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know today's video is a little bit different, but please let me know in the comments if you like this style video. And also don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified when the newest videos are uploaded. Now, if you want to support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can. You can go to my website, travisdykesmusic.com, and make a purchase to any of my products on there. Or you can check out my affiliate links in the description below, to where if you click and make a purchase through any of those links, this channel gets a kickback to bring you more videos. Now, if you like this reaction style video, you should definitely check out this one right here.